Welcome everyone to Life Integrational Class 5 with Aldo Arzapalo and Andreas Bothner. These classes are such a meaningful opportunity to explore how the teachings live in the middle of our daily lives, relationships, and challenges. And also, this is a precious chance to bring the teachings into our real lives. And of course, we are very happy to have you here with us at Five Houses. Let's begin and enjoy.
Hello, everyone. It's really an honor to be here. Hello, Mr. Andreas.
Hi, Aldo.
Hello, it's really an honor to teach with Andreas, my good friend. And well, first of all, thank you, everyone. Thank all the tech team, all the translators. Please, translators, if I get excited, just give me a sign to slow down. Thank you, everyone here in the call. It's amazing that we're all here gathered in this beautiful retreat, in these beautiful teachings. My name is Aldo Arzapalo. I'm from Guadalajara, Mexico. I've been teaching for the last over 14 years in Mexico, and it's really an honor to share this life integration class with you. And my friend, my co-teacher today is Andreas Bothner. He was born in, you were born in Johannesburg, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. He lives in South Africa, and he's been teaching. How many years have you been teaching, Andreas?
Since 2019.
Since 2019. And do you want to talk more about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Aldo. Yeah. Yeah, Aldo and I actually we met in November or December 2019, I think, yes. And 2019 was when I went to Diamond Mountain to meet Geshe-la for the first time. And I had been studying since about 2012. Yeah, but I've grown up in South Africa. And yeah, I just want to mention that here in the country where I live, 30% of the population don't have jobs. There's lots of poverty here, lots of crime here. And people are in survival mode. They want to just get enough money to pay the rent, pay for food, so they can put it on, feed their families, etc. There's good people here, but they are all struggling. And when you are struggling like that, you don't have much time or energy to spend focusing on a spiritual path. So we are extremely fortunate that we are here. And I think you should all just think about how lucky you are to be able to do this and to be able to attend these teachings. It's really, really special. Thanks, Aldo.
Yes. Thanks for sharing, Andreas. So that means we're all here very, very special and very lucky, right? So we want to start this session with a very important question. Could we please share the slide? Can someone share the slide, please? The PPT. Thank you. So the question we want to start the class with is, when was the last time that you felt joy these last days? Like, when was your last true joy? And I think it's a good reminder for us. You know, great Geshe Michael is always saying, I'm going to tell you one of the best advices I can give you is have fun. It's very important in our practice to have fun. So I see there in the chat that right now, wow, that's amazing. uh, it's part of our practice, right? But I mean, like through the light, like through real joy. And when was the last time that you felt this joy, Andreas?
Yeah, I like the answer in the chat because I'm feeling the same. I'm happy right now to be right here with everybody. I'm passionate about the Dharma, obviously. So are you. So, and we get the opportunity to share this with people who are interested in it. So it's a very special time to be here.
Yes.
Yeah, and what about you, Aldo?
Yes. I mean the whole process of preparing this class, because we were gonna teach this subject, joyful effort. I tried indeed to enjoy it a lot, and I have a new baby, so just being around her, it's very very joyful, very delightful. But if we are honest and we go deeper, um, sometimes in our daily life, it's not that easy to feel every day joyful, with the daily challenges, the daily struggles, and, just life. Sometimes we get caught up with life and we forget about smiling, being joyful, and enjoying what we do. And the Master Shantideva describes the three main obstacles we have to feel this joy, to have this joy as being a powerful practice in our life. And can we change the slide, please? And I'm gonna share with you the three main obstacles that prevent us from having this joy. And can we change the slide, please? Number one is laziness. In Tibetan, called lelu. And basically, it's just being attracted to inactive laying around, like the sloth there in the picture, like being a sloth, just like wasting time, doing laziness, nothing of value. And this laziness is a kind of like, as I said, a unproductive sloth. And taking a healthy rest after doing lots of work is fine. Resting in order to take care of yourself is fine. But we're talking here about just like doing unproductive, just there laying around and then procrastinating. Oh, tomorrow I'm gonna meditate. Oh, tomorrow I'm gonna meditate. And then you're just there, like wasting time, being very lazy. And this is the first obstacle. And the antidote for this obstacle is just like, it's kind of obvious, right? Remember, we're all gonna die. Remember, you are going to die. And that's the reality of life. So it will be like a shame to waste this precious time, this precious life, just like wasting time and laying around. So this is the first obstacle for feeling joy. And Andreas is going to share with you the second one. Can we change the slide, please?
Yeah, thanks, Aldo. So the second obstacle is just waiting for the slide to come up. But the second obstacle is being attracted to doing useless things. So it's very similar to laziness. And it's well, the topic today is how do we communicate in this world, in our world currently, and how do we communicate joyfully? And that also includes having difficult discussions and difficult conversations with people. And Aldo and I are going to give you some examples of those difficult discussions today. But here, the second obstacle is there's something difficult you have to do, and rather than doing that difficult thing, you are attracted to do something much easier. And what do we normally do? We binge watch TV. We some of us, I was addicted to watching CNN for some time, and watching the news all the time is like listening to gossip. It's not something that's really healthy. It creates a lot of fear, etc. And yeah, you are attracted to these unwholesome things. And there's actually a word that one of the worst, I think, is we don't realize how bad it is, and that is scrolling through social media. A lot of us do it. I do it. Sometimes I get caught in the trap. And when that happens, I remember I don't want to do this. I regret it. I take refuge because I know it's not going to help me. I'm going to die, and I want to make sure that I progress on the path. So, yeah, the Oxford Dictionary actually added the word brain rot in 2024 because doing these things actually makes us less intelligent. We lose the skill to be critical and to think critically. So it's less likely that we're going to actually see emptiness directly if we continue doing these things. And the antidote for this is to actually choose something that is more difficult or is very difficult and go and do it. So if you need to have a difficult conversation with somebody, choose to do it rather than trying to procrastinate on it. And that's what often happens. We procrastinate. So we often say, I'm so busy, I can't do it. But it's actually a choice that we're doing. Yeah. So think about that obstacle. And when things are difficult, choose and go and do it. Aldo, third one.
Yes. And the third one, can we change the slide, please? The third one is feeling discouragement. I think we've all been there, like low self-esteem, and you feel sometimes you feel you're not very special. You feel very down, very low. You feel you cannot do things. And I think here it's very important when you have like discouragement, low self-esteem, maybe a bit of depression. You should start with small good deeds and then gradually build up your confidence. Like start small but build up very steadily every day. And the good thing about this is that the human mind is very, very trainable. It's the mind is like a muscle. So if we train it constantly, we can change it. It can be very weak and feeble, but if we train it constantly, it can become very, very strong and powerful. So I think many of us, we've been here, like feeling low self-esteem, and the antidote is to remember our own emptiness. Like we are a result of what we say, what we think, and what we do. We're a result of our seeds, right? So we are empty. That means we have the highest potential. We have a potential of being truly an angel. That's why we're studying the door to the diamond way. And just remember our own emptiness and how special. And as we were saying, like at the beginning of the class, if you are in this call, you are very special, really, because you've created a path, you've created a lineage, you've created amazing teachers to guide you, you've created great Geshe Michael, and You've created a true beautiful path. And like you're one in a million. If you're in this call, you're one in a million. How many people are taking a course, the door to the diamond way, to really train their mind and heart to become a better person and to serve better the world? Like really, it's, if you start to reflect upon it, it's just amazing. It's amazing. Maybe sometimes our mind can't measure like the how amazing it is, really. And all this lineage, all these teachings you've created with your unmatched kindness. Please always remember that. And that is it's a true motive to feel happy about yourself, to have a to build up your confidence, to build up your low self-esteem, because we are indeed very, very special. And so please don't get discouraged. And when you start like getting discouraged, or sometimes life is difficult, but we always have blessings. We always have happiness in our life if we look at the right place. So if you feel discouraged, remember you're very special. Remember your own emptiness, and remember your true potential. And we want to share with you, Andreas is going to share with you a beautiful story of someone that had like million obstacles and never felt discouraged. He really endured. So please, Andreas.
Yeah, the next slide, but if the slide doesn't come up, that's fine. So I wanted to find a story, well, it was very easy to find a story that is going to inspire us. So it's the story of one of the most famous yogis in Buddhism, and his name is Milarepa. And Milarepa, when he was a child, his father passed away. His father died, and this was around the 10th century. Back in those days, when the man in the family died, then you didn't have anybody to look after. So the Milarepa's mother and him, they had to go live with their uncle and aunt. And the uncle and aunt, they were not kind. They were cruel. And his mother she became very, very angry. And when Milarepa was a certain age, she asked Milarepa, please go study some black magic and take revenge on our aunt and uncle. And so Milarepa did that. He went and found somebody to teach him this black magic. And there was a wedding in his family home, and he caused a hailstorm to happen, and the roof collapsed on basically his family's house. And 35 people of his relatives died. And I don't know if you've ever done something really bad, and as soon as you've done it, you feel immense regret immediately afterwards. I know I've had that experience myself. And this is what happened to Milarepa. He immediately felt great, great regret. And he knew that what he had done is going to cause him to go to hell after his life, basically. So he decided he's going to find a teacher to help him purify his negative deeds. And so he asked around, and everybody said to him, no, you need to go to Marpa. Marpa was very famous. He was a translator of the Buddhist teachings. He had gone to India 3 times to study under Naropa. Naropa was one of the most amazing teachers in India at the time. And he went to Marpa. And Marpa, because he was obviously very advanced in his practice, he was a yogi himself. And he immediately saw that Milarepa was carrying something really terrible. And he told Marpa told Milarepa, I want you to go and build a round tower up on the East Hill on the mountain. So Milarepa started carrying these huge, heavy rocks and started building this round tower. And then when it was finished, he went and showed Milarepa. And Milarepa says, I was actually drunk when I told you to build this tower. pull it down, take every rock back to where it was, and then we'll see. So Milarepa tore down the tower, put all the rocks back, and then he asked Marapa what he should do next. And Marapa said, I want you to build a crescent-shaped tower on the North Hill. So Milarepa had to start building another tower. And he finished the tower. And guess what Marapa did when he finished building the tower? Tear it down, please. I don't like the tower. Let's do another tower on the West Hill. So now he had to build a triangular tower on the west side, carrying these heavy rocks. All this time, he was obviously suffering a lot. His wife had a lot of compassion. She was crying about all the suffering that Milarepa was going through. And then after the third tower was finished, Marpa did the same thing. He asked him to pull down the tower and build a 9-story tower to the south. And Milarepa was ready to give up, but he was suffering a lot. But he built the tower. His back was bleeding from carrying these heavy rocks on his back. And when he finished the last story of the ninth story of this 9-story tower, everything changed. Marpa, he had lots of other students, and he told all of his students, let's have a feast. And he asked Milarepa to come and be in the seat of honor. And he told Milarepa that I knew what you had done, and I made sure that you have purified all this negative karma. And then he started teaching him. He became Marapa's closest student, and he learned all of the open teachings and then the secret teachings, the Diamond Way. And to this day, Milarepa is one of the most, or is probably the most famous yogi in Buddhism, and he wrote many stories, poems, and songs, and his songs are still sung today. And I want us to look at that story and just realize that we are carrying a lot of negative karma from our past lives, and we need to purify those. So we are going to have difficult times. It's completely normal, and we just need to be joyful that we are burning this negative karma. And Marpa is also an example to us. He was the teacher, and he had a difficult task to do. Marpa was a compassionate person, but he knew that he had to put his student through difficult times, through hardships, to help the Milarepa. If it wasn't for Marpa, Milarepa would have gone to hell, but instead he became a realized being, and that is because of Marpa's compassion. Yeah, so can we have the next slide? And obviously, I don't think Geshe Michael or any of our teachers are going to ask us to carry heavy stones. But Geshe Michael has asked us to do homework, and we need to joyfully do our homework. Yeah. Aldo.
Yes, yes, I love Milarepa's story. I've read it, and it's just amazing because like his endurance is just like amazing, and he had so many challenges since he was a little boy as Andrea, and he lost his parents, and his endurance is amazing. And I think his practice of joyful effort was just like amazing, like out of this world, because he endured so many troubles with his joy of doing the good deeds again and again. And this is the main theme for this class, how our joyful effort is gonna shape our communication, and it's gonna shape the world we live in. And as we all know, these live integration classes cover the 6 perfections. Can we change the slide, please? And you've been hearing about these 6 perfections, you know. In general, these 6 perfections, I must say, they are like your main practice for the rest of your life. These are the practices of the Bodhisattva, the perfections of the Bodhisattva. They're not perfections. They call them perfections, but they are perfectionizers. Because if you practice them properly, then you will become like a perfect being. They come from the Bodhisattvas. The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life from Master Shantideva, that it's like a beautiful masterpiece book. And these 6 practices that we must do, these practices are like the main practices of the Bodhisattva, the one who wants to achieve enlightenment, to help all beings, and they are like the highway to enlightenment, to Buddhahood. And they're just beautiful. And I know many of you are already practicing these. So number 1 is sharing what you have. Number 2,
can you guys hear Aldo? All right, I know Aldo has got some internet issues in Mexico. So yeah, let me carry on. So yeah, he left off on morality, and those are ethics. And the third one is not getting angry, often translated as patience. Geshe Michael now likes to say not getting angry. That is the actual meaning. Aldo, are you back?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. I just talked
internet
about the third
problem.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
I just talked about the third one.
I think that the light went off here. Sorry about that. Then not getting angry is number 3. And then number 4 is joyful effort. Now we've been talking about it. It's like feeling joy, feeling delight on what we're doing. They actually define it as the joy, the delight in doing good. So having fun, doing our practice, that's joyful effort. And then number 5 is focus, meditation, the ability to meditate, concentration. And number 6 is wisdom, the wisdom of emptiness. So these are our 6 main practices for the rest of our lives. Can we change the slide? And joyful effort is very, 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 very important, because attaining the result of the first 3 and the last 2, so basically all of them, depends upon our joyful effort. And I love this metaphor. They say that they depend on these. Well, that's the definition of joyful effort: the delight in doing good. Really, really feeling delight and joy in doing our practice. And can we change the slide? So attaining the result of the first 3, like sharing and having a good life, not hurting others and not getting angry, and being able to meditate and focus and being able to remember emptiness, is the result of having this joyful effort, much in a way that a flame never flickers in the absence of a breeze. I love that phrase. So Master Shantideva here is saying that our joyful effort, it's like a unflickering, steady flame. It's like the steady flame of joy. So we must always keep it in our practice. No, that's why great Geshe Michael is always saying, I'm going to tell you the best advice I can give you. Have fun. let's not become these serious Buddhists who never smile and never have fun. So as we can see, the like feeling joy in our practice, feeling delight and joy when we do our practice, it's very, very, I think it's crucial. And we must train ourselves to maintain it, like this flickering flame, right? And it's just like feeling a true delight in doing all our practice and doing all our goodness with true joy and true happiness. And Andreas is going to tell you a little bit more about these two groups of perfections.
Yeah, thanks. This joyful effort, this delight in doing good is right in the middle of the first three and the last two perfectionizers. And they are perfectionizers because we are supposed to remember I am empty, the object is empty, the person I'm interacting with, communicating with, etc. They are empty. So emptiness is what makes it a perfection or a perfectionizer. And emptiness pervades all of these other perfections. And joyful effort is just as important as emptiness, I think, because this joyful effort, the steady flame of joy, has to pervade all the other perfections. When we sit down to meditate, when we are sharing, we need to do that with joy. If we are sharing and regretting that, we are not planting good seeds. So this joyful effort is going to be the fuel. This picture of the flame is beautiful because it is the fuel for our planting of good seeds. And I don't know what you are like. We all have habits, and sometimes we aren't joyful. We struggle because we don't like doing something. Can we just move to the next slide, please? Sorry, I forgot. So this, like I said, joyful effort is in the middle of these two groups. The first three are ethics, sharing. So sharing is a prerequisite for you to be able to be ethical. First, you have to be able to share. You start with just giving carrots and potatoes or something, just sharing a little, and then you get better and better, and then you start caring for other people more, and you start being ethical. And the Buddha said, wherever people are ethical, that's where I am. So by doing the first three, we are ensuring that the Buddhist teachings remain. We are ensuring that the Buddha is around us. And then we get to the higher ones, 5 and 6, meditation and emptiness. And that is so that we can eventually achieve the direct perception of emptiness ourselves, and we can eventually become the Buddha. So that is wisdom being one wing, and or ethical, being ethical on the other side. So sharing, compassion, and not getting angry, those are things that we do because we're compassionate. So there we can see the two wings of our practice. Joyful effort is the fuel that fuels both of these wings. Compassion. When somebody's angry at us, we don't respond with anger, we respond with compassion, and we see that this person who is being angry with us is actually suffering. We don't respond with anger. So that's compassion. So the first three are all compassion, and then the other side is wisdom. So we can move to the next slide. Aldo, do you want to tell us a personal story?
Yes, and then you see in life, like really joyful effort shapes your communication. And then I saw Viorel ask the perfect question, like, how do we obtain it? Because we talk about this, having this joyful effort, but how do we obtain it? And I think um, we can like as we mentioned the obstacles, we have to overcome these obstacles, but I think a very skillful way to do it is to um, shape our communication and incite the joyful effort in the way we communicate with others. That's a very powerful direct cause to us feeling joyful effort. But I think like overall, if we have fun, it shapes really our communication, and we start like to communicate very empathically, very kindly, very. So I've seen like with my baby, I've seen how because a baby, they can't communicate with words yet, so they start to make a tantrum or they start to cry, and it's very crucial how you communicate with them, and how uh, how you they listen to you and they understand, but they can't say it with words. So we start to be very empathic um, and very kind with our communication. And I see my baby really starts to like leave the tantrum and like understand what's happening, and they really understand. And it's just, I think, joyful effort leads to having a communication that really focuses on helping someone else. So we can say, in a way, not getting angry leads to joyful effort. Yes, they are like all the perfections. We can say, in a way, they are like a segue. But the thing about joyful effort is that it has to be present in all the other perfections. It has to be present when you share, you do it with joy. When you practice your morality, you do it with joy. When you don't get angry, obviously you do it with joy. When you meditate, you do it with joy. When you remember emptiness, that brings you joy. So it has to be always present, and it really shapes our communication completely. For example, I want to share, like, we all have like difficult conversations we must have, like, for example, um, for example, I'm an architect, and sometimes the work must get done, and sometimes you see that they do the work properly, but then some part of the work wasn't done very properly. And I've learned through the years that if you come and you tell to the workers, like, hey, that wasn't done properly, can you please do it properly? Like some plaster or coating, or the wall isn't perfectly aligned, or like a detail in the woodwork or something, or the tiles. And then, so I've learned that first, it's very important, if you are very kind and empathic and you tell them, like, oh, this part you do it very good. And in that moment, you are inciting the joyful effort in them. Oh, this work you do it very great. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this is very well done. Oh, wow, this is great, but there's just like a small detail over there. Can you please fix it quickly? Don't worry. And then they do it like joyfully, and they're like, oh, yes, I'm going. But then if you start like harshly, like, hey, that's not well done, come on, you have to do it again, then they get like, and I think they get like discouraged, and they get like, so in a way, like, if you incite, when through your communication, if you incite a joyful effort in others, is very powerful. And we can do it like in all types of communication, and sometimes we have very difficult communications, and like Andreas said, sometimes they're difficult, and we want to procrastinate it or just like avoid it. And if we really train ourselves, and if we really do it through a space of kindness and empathy and inciting joyful effort in others, it shapes completely that communication. It's very, very powerful. And I think we must do it very skillfully and kindly, especially in difficult situations. Especially in difficult situations. And, we can hurt a lot with our words. We can do a lot of damage with our words. So we must train ourselves to shape our communication through our joyful effort. And one of the best ways is when you communicate automatically inside the one you're communicating to, incite them to feel joy about what they do, about themselves. And Andreas is gonna share some examples as well, some real life examples. He's done this.
Yeah. So thanks, Aldo. I am going to share a few examples of communicating in a bad way and in a good way, just for us to compare two methods. That's coming up in a few slides. I am concerned that we've got 20 minutes left, so we're going to have to speed up a little. So I'll just give an example of something that I thought about in my life, which was, I remember this was like 30 years ago. I was just, it wasn't my first job. It was probably, maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe it was 20 years ago. I was working for a company, and I had studied in Canada. It was very expensive to study, and I had made a lot of debt, and I needed to pay back these debts. And the company here in South Africa, I chose to work at that company, even though the salary that I was getting was less than I could have earned in another job company where I had received job offers. But I wanted to work for this company, and I was getting less money. And after getting my first raise, I went to my boss. Well, I was struggling to how do I go speak to my boss about getting a raise? This is not an easy conversation. And I remember I really struggled with how am I going to do this? And I spoke to my friends, I asked them questions. And then I went to speak to my boss, and I was just very, very honest and open to what my situation was. And I made myself vulnerable. And when you make yourself vulnerable and open to somebody, they generally respond with kindness. And my boss immediately said, yeah, there's unfortunately nothing I can do about your raise. But what I will do is I will give you a one-time bonus of this amount of money. And it was quite substantial. It was a quarter of my debt. And when it appeared on my salary slip, I noticed that there was a lot taken away by the tax man. And I went back to my boss and I said, listen, can you help me? And he actually went and motivated for them to pay me the tax so that it was the entire quarter of my debt that they repaid. So what I wanted to just share is when we speak to other people and we have difficult things that we want to discuss, being honest and being open is very important. Often we communicate out of fear. And when we communicate out of fear, we're more likely to lie. What do we do when we lie? We plant bad seeds. So even when things are difficult, communicate honestly, be open with people, and you will plant good seeds. And maybe you won't have the same experience I had immediately, but you will plant the seeds that will happen in future. Now, I work for a different company now, 20 years later. I remember last year or 2 years ago, no, it was last year, I volunteered. I did something volunteering and there were about 5 or 6 of us in my company who volunteered to do something which was teaching at a school. Because I'm in IT, I work with computers. So we went to a school and we taught a little bit about science. And when our boss heard that, he said, give them all 5 of them get bonuses. And we didn't even have to ask for it. So all I'm saying is if you're planting the right seeds, these things will happen to you. Aldo.
Yes. Next slide, please. And this is like, I love this advice. It's like 3 spoons of honey. So it's just like I said, my difficult conversations at work. Let's try to be very mindful to put 2 extra spoons of honey to our conversation, meaning to do it from a space of kindness, honesty, and empathy. And it really changes everything, no? Because sometimes we're very, harsh and direct with words, and you can say the same thing, exactly the same thing, but much more mindfully, much more kindly. So this is like the advice every time you're gonna communicate, and especially like the difficult conversations, as Andreas said, like remember to put 3 extra spoons of honey, and it will totally change it. And I think, as I said, I'm like emphasizing again and repeating again, trying to be very mindful that the way you communicate incites joy in the other person. It's really like a life uh, a life changer, because it's gonna be automatically the communication. It's gonna shift to a very happy, like open, beautiful space. So that's that's like a very practical advice. Like when we are gonna communicate, always remember to add more kindness, add more um, understanding about emptiness, and like the intention to help the other person. Next slide, please. I think we are running out of time. Almost. Andreas.
All right. So, yeah, I just wanted to share a story about being joyful. When I was at school, I was a bit of a nerd and I was very shy. I never had any girlfriends. And when I got to university, I noticed this guy. He was a joker. He was always funny, and girls seemed to love him. And I realized that people are attracted to joy. And if you want to have a girlfriend, if you want to find love, if you're a joyful person, you're much more likely to find love, right? So yeah, it's not only girls finding men attractive that are funny, but it's also men find girls attractive who are joyful by themselves without the man having to do much. Like, have you heard the expression, she lights up the room when she walks in? I don't know if that expression exists in all different languages, but it is an expression in English. And yes, of course, the other person is not joyful from their own side. You've created the seeds to see joyful people in your life. So be joyful to plant those seeds so that you can perpetuate to make sure that this happens again in the future. If you're seeing joyful people in your life right now, you've planted the seeds for that, and continue planting those seeds by being joyful yourself. And yeah, then the next slide, please. Oh yes, this is good.
That was supposed to be a photo of Andreas like smiling. That's cool. But the when we talk about like deeper, like about the inner body, when we smile, we're literally opening the knot in our body. The knot here, like, so as the great Geshe Michael says, I'm gonna teach you like this high secret mudra. Like smile, no? So like having fun and smiling, it's like a sign that your inner body is more aligned, because immediately you're like opening here. When you smile, you open here, the knot here. And when you're happy and you're having fun, like your wins in your inner body, then you're gonna study more about this, like deeper, like we are in the door to Diamond Way, right? Like Diamond Way focuses a lot on the inner body, the practice of the inner body, but the prana, your winds are like in a better place when you're smiling, when you're having fun. So it's very, very important, even physically in our physical body, and then deeper in our subtle body, like having fun and smiling and like being fun and doing this practice of joyful effort changes you. So maybe it's connected your joy with being surrounded by beautiful people, finding a true partner, and like because you're changing the world, right? You're changing your reality, and I must say, in a way, it's true, huh? You will find love easier if you're a happy person. Like the great Geshe Michael said, it. What's an indicator you understand emptiness properly? You're gonna smile more. You're gonna be very happy and joyful because you understand where your reality, you're experiencing comes from, and you're happy. You're planting the seeds, and then you're having beautiful results. So you're gonna be happier, and then it becomes like an upward spiral in a way. So it's very important to practice this mudra the more we can, this secret smiling mudra. Next slide, please.
Yeah, thank you, Aldo. I love that slide. I'm so glad. I must tell you, yeah, we had a lot of fun preparing for this class, and it's just that slide of you in the previous slide is really perfect. I love it. Yeah,
so just basically, because I think we have 10 more minutes, so just as a practical advice, just to almost wrap up this class, like always, it's good to, before you communicate, do like a reality check. Meaning, always check your intention before you're gonna communicate with someone, especially when you're gonna have like difficult communications. And if you check your intention and you're honest with you, your intention must be wanting to help the other person with the one you're gonna communicate. It must be. And that's like the safe place. Like that's the meter for having a good communication and really shaping your communication. It's to really check your intention. Why am I talking? Why am I communicating with this person? Why am I doing it? And your intention must be out of love, to really help them and serve them. And if you can manage that, you will shape your communication and in your world very quickly. So that's a very beautiful practical advice. Next slide, please.
Yeah, I wanted to give some examples to think about how we communicate. So what Aldo said about checking your intention is very, very important. So when you apologize, just saying, fine, I'm sorry if you're upset. It's an example of communicating. But if you say, I've been thinking about what I said, I think I got it wrong, and I want to make it right. It's a completely different feeling of how you're communicating with somebody. When you give feedback to somebody, Aldo already talked about it in his example on the building site, because he's an architect. When you say, oh, it's okay, it could be better in places, that's one way. But you can say, you know, I really care about this, and I think that there is something here that could really be strong. Can I share with you what I'm seeing, what I think could be better? Just think about when you communicate with somebody, what is your intention and how do you want to bring it across? Have a sense of caring for the other person. So in this slide, I'm saying the power of gratitude. If you think why am I grateful for this person being in my life? Maybe I'm grateful because I respect them a lot. Maybe they're my partner and I love them. If you think about the love that you have for them, your communication with them is going to be completely different, happier. And when you communicate in that way, you're much more likely to have a positive result. So I'm going to ask you to do a little practice every time you do a conversation. Before you walk into the office with somebody, before you pick up the phone, before you hit send on an email, think about, why am I grateful for this person being in my life? Maybe they're difficult, but they're helping you to grow. Maybe they are always there, reliably, always helping you, even though you might not like the help at the time, but they're always there for you. And that's not very common in today's society. Many people, they aren't there all the time. They're not reliable. So think about the little things that people, why can you be grateful for them? And you don't have to find many things. Just walking into a conversation with somebody and reminding yourself, remembering, why am I grateful for this person? That is going to help that communication to be completely different. So this is a recognition of what is already great with your relationship with that person. And I think Aldo mentioned it before. Gratitude is an amazing way to incite joy. And the beautiful thing is, it doesn't just incite joy in ourselves, but it incites joy in others. So by being grateful ourselves, we incite joy in others. And it also reminds me of the 3 spoons. If you're speaking to somebody and you're showing them, you're telling them that you're grateful for them, that is going to be a much better communication. So gratitude is contagious. Gratitude is the entry into being joyful. So if you have homework to do for your Dharma practice, be grateful that you have the homework. It is Geshe Michael acting like Marpa. Marpa was compassionate, and Geshe Michael is compassionate by giving us this homework. I think we are at the end of our class. We've got a few minutes. We can do the dedication or after, if there's any questions. I'm seeing some questions in the chat, Aldo.
Yes.
One question I saw was how to be more advice to have regular meditation practice, please.
Okay. I think recently, great Geshe Michael said like very beautiful practical advice. It's like to start like with 10 minutes meditating, 10 minutes every day, and then after a week you add 1 minute, and that way you're gonna build up your meditation practice. So you can start 10 minutes to 10 minutes for a whole week, then Sunday you add 1 more minute, and then you're meditating, and then in some months you're gonna have a solid meditation practice, like a 45-50 minute meditation practice. So a good advice is to start with something, start with small steps but steadily. And I think it's also a good advice our teachers have taught us, that try to live your meditation practice at a state that feels good, because don't stretch it too much, because if you're starting to meditate and then you feel like difficult or tired, then you're not gonna want to do it anymore. And I think that advice of doing like 10 minutes and then adding 1 more minute and 1 more minute, it's a great advice. But then if we go deeper, our meditation practice comes today, the practice our practice, our meditation practice from today comes from how we've treated others the past week. So I think we must practice kindness. And in a way, we've been teaching how we can be kind communicated, but I mean like general kindness. So if you are practicing kindness and serving others and just being like a bodhisattva, you will have a better practice. And I think that's like a fuel for meditating properly. I don't know if you want to add something else, Andreas.
Yeah, I think it is important for us to remember that our meditation is also empty. And if you can remember that if you see your emptiness as being difficult or you're struggling with your meditation, it's just seeds, and those seeds will lose their energy and you will have new seeds. So you just plant the seeds to be joyful in your meditation. And like Aldo said, start small. Like Geshe Michael says, start small, make the meditation easy, then you'll do it joyfully. And if you do your meditation joyfully, you're planting the seeds for your meditation to be joyful in the future. Meditation is also empty. Yeah, I don't know if you saw any other questions. I think
The time.
Yeah. Let's dedicate.
It's already time. Maybe let's wrap it up with a dedication, Andreas.
So I want to. We often forget to dedicate. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't want to forget to do the dedication after class today. So thank yourself for coming to class. You have planted good seeds to come here. And whatever you have understood from class today, hopefully it inspired you a little bit, and take this inspiration and actually put it into practice. Go out, be joyful, be an example to others. That is the best way you can dedicate this class or the seeds that you've created. Spread the joy. And if there's a difficult conversation that you have been putting off, if you've been procrastinating on doing that difficult conversation, plan how to have that conversation. Think about how the gratitude you have for the person you need this difficult conversation with, and go have the difficult conversation. It might turn out amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, all the translators. Thank you, everyone here. Thank you, all the tech people. Thank you, Andreas. It was a delight teaching with you. And thank you, everyone. It's been an honor.
Yeah, thank you for all of you being here.
Have a beautiful day.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Really appreciate you being here.
Yes. And remember, you are all very, very special. Everyone here.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you everyone for joining Life Integrational Class 5. And thank you to Aldo Arzapalo and Andreas Bothner for guiding this session. We hope it offered practical wisdom, reflection, and support for your daily practice. In about 13 minutes, we'll meet again for the session on refuge and bodhisattva vows. Please take a little time to prepare whatever you may need. And if you wish to reconnect with your motivation in relation to these vows. We are so grateful to share this time with you at 5 Houses. See you soon.